So, you're thinking of starting a business in India with a partner. Then you've got to understand the partnership firm. We're about to break down everything you need to know, from all the legal stuff to the biggest risks you're going to face.
You've got a fantastic idea, and you've found the perfect person to build it with. It's an incredibly exciting time. But, one of the first and biggest decisions you'll make together is picking the right business structure. And getting this wrong, it can cause some major headaches down the road.
So here's our game plan for today. First, we'll get clear on what a partnership actually is. Then, we'll dive into the good and the bad, the pros and the cons. After that, I'll walk you through a simple 4-step launch plan, and we'll wrap it all up with a final verdict to help you decide if this is the right move for you.
All right, let's kick things off at square one. What exactly are we even talking about when we say partnership?
Okay, so a partnership firm is pretty much one of the simplest ways for 2 or more people to go into business together. It's really just a formal agreement to team up and share in the profits. The whole thing is legally defined by a law that's been on the books for a long time, the Indian Partnership Act of 1932.
Now, the single most important document you will create is something called the partnership deed. Think of it as the constitution for your business. It's a legally binding contract that lays out all the rules of the game so that everybody is on the exact same page. Trust me, getting this right from the start can save you from a world of arguments later. So what goes into this constitution? Well, pretty much everything. It defines how much money each partner is putting in, how you're going to split profits, and yes, losses too. It also details what everyone's role is. And crucially, it sets the rules for making big decisions, and even outlines what happens if things don't work out and you need to dissolve the partnership. Nailing this document from day one is absolutely critical.
Okay, now that we know what a partnership is, it's time to ask the big question. Is it actually a good idea? Like any business structure, it's got its upsides and its downsides. So let's weigh them out.
Here are the trade-offs, plain and simple. On the plus side, partnerships are super easy and cheap to set up. You get to pool your skills and share the financial risk, which is great. But the drawbacks are pretty serious. The biggest one is something called unlimited liability. You also don't get any legal protection for your business name, and it can be a lot harder to get investors on board.
Let's just pause and zoom in on that single biggest risk, because you absolutely, 100% need to understand this before you move forward. Unlimited liability.
So what does that actually mean? It means the law doesn't see a difference between you and your business. If the firm gets into debt that it can't pay, your personal assets, we're talking your car, your house, your savings, could be on the line to cover those business debts. This is the #1 reason many entrepreneurs choose other business structures instead.
Okay, deep breaths. If you've weighed the risks and still decided a partnership is right for you, what's next? Here's a really practical 4-step plan to get you from that light bulb moment to a fully operational business. It's actually pretty straightforward. Step 1, you draft that all-important partnership deed we talked about. Step 2, you have the option to register your firm, and we'll come back to that word, optional. After that, step 3, you need to get a separate PAN card just for the business. And finally, step 4, you open a business bank account in the firm's name. But hold on a second. I mentioned that step 2, registration, is optional. And what the data shows about this is, well, it's kind of shocking. So remember how I said registration was optional? Well, it turns out the vast majority of people choose to skip it. We're talking 80 to 85%.
That's right, the huge majority of partnership firms in India just don't officially register. It's partly a holdover from older, trust-based business cultures, and partly because, let's be honest, a lot of small ventures just want to avoid the extra cost and paperwork. They write up a deed, get a PAN card, and just get to work.
But listen, just because it's common doesn't mean it's a good idea. Registering your firm gives you critical legal powers. An unregistered firm literally cannot sue a third party for breaking a contract, and partners can't sue each other to enforce their rights under the deed. Plus, and this is a big one, if you ever dream of growing and converting your business into an LLP or a company, registration is mandatory. You can't do it without it.
So, all of this brings us to the final showdown. How does a partnership really stack up against the other popular options out there for entrepreneurs? Let's break this down. With a partnership, you've got that unlimited liability we've been talking about. But with an LLP, that's a limited liability partnership, or a full-blown company, your personal assets are protected. Now, a partnership does have way lower compliance. You just file one income tax return a year. But that simplicity comes at a cost. It's much harder to transfer ownership, and you're working under a much older, less flexible set of laws.
And that's really the question you need to answer for yourself, isn't it? A partnership offers this incredible simplicity and low cost, which can be perfect for just testing an idea. But that simplicity comes bundled with the very real risk of unlimited liability. The right choice really just depends on your goals, your appetite for risk, and where you truly see your business going in the future.